boost your tourism message. Interviewer: Abigail Anaba, MRD, Head of Content Marketing, Slvr Digital Limited. Abigail Anaba is a multifaceted professional with over 2 decades of experience. Currently excels as the Head of Content Marketing and Client Services at Slvr Digital Limited in Ibadan, Nigeria. In this role, she spearheads the establishment and maintenance of client relationships and oversees the execution of content marketing strategy for the organization. Participant 1, Sulaiman Olariwaju. Sulaiman Olariwaju is a strategic communication expert and holds a master's in media and communication studies from Pan Atlantic University. With a career that includes roles at the Nigerian Tribune and accolades such as being a 7-time winner of the Nigeria Media Merit Award. He now serves as Special Advisor Media and Chief Press Secretary to His Excellency Seyi Makinde FNSE. Participant 2, Henry Akpede, Country Manager and Creative Director, Ogilvy, Nigeria. A member of First Primus Group, Henry Akpede, an award-winning creative strategist, is renowned for his brand development and marketing communication expertise. With nearly 2 decades of experience, he has led award-winning campaigns for well-known brands globally. As Country Manager and Chief Creative Officer at Ogilvy, Nigeria, Henry's innovative approach has garnered industry recognition. Participant 3, Mr. Adebayo Awoniyi Adeosun, Associate General Manager and Head, Corporate Communications and Strategy, Origin Tech Group. A seasoned professional with over 2 decades in marketing communications, Mr. Adebayo Awoniyi Adeosun holds a higher national diploma in mass communication and an MSc in media and communications from Pan Atlantic University. As Group Head of Corporate Communications at Origin Tech Group, he leverages his vast experience from previous high-impact roles. Participant 4, Folarin Laoshun, filmmaker, producer. Nimbe Folarin Laoshun, a distinguished filmmaker and producer, is celebrated for his innovative storytelling and impactful visual media project. His work, including Nimbe on Netflix, demonstrates his ability to connect with audiences deeply. Folarin's commitment to diversity and cultural preservation is evident in his involvement in various campaigns and cultural events.
Welcome you all to the Fireside Chat. My very first question is going to go to my very good friend, the Special Advisor to His Excellency on Media. We all know about that poem by J.P. Clark, where he says Ibadan is the city of brown roofs. Do you think that this poem aligns with Oyo State's tourism message? First of all, what is the tourism message, and does the poem about brown roofs align with Oyo State's story?
Thank you. While what J.P. Clark said would be right about 50 years ago when the poem was written, that is no longer the case. Ibadan is not just about brown roofs. Ibadan is actually about pace setting. When we talk about the first skyscraper in Nigeria, where do you find it? Ibadan. The first television station in Africa, where do you find it? Ibadan. The first university in Nigeria, where do you find it? Ibadan. So, to stick the moniker of Ibadan having brown roofs to this city will be an injustice to the city. Ibadan is a city of firsts. Ibadan is a city of unique experience. So talking about the tourism message of this administration, it's not about the brown roofs. It's not even about Ibadan having the first skyscraper or the first university. It's about our rich heritage. Where else are you going to find Alapan Shapa in the world? Where are you going to find Iponriku? Where are you going to find Oyo Empire? They are not existing anywhere else. They exist only in Oyo State. So we are talking about our rich cultural heritage. That is the message. Because what do tourists want? Unique experience. And they can only find such in unique places. We also talk about great sceneries. Earlier we saw Idere Hills. We saw Ado Awaye. We saw the beauty of Ibarapa areas. We saw the beauty of the city of Ibadan as it is now. That is what we talk about. Unique experiences. And of course, we'll talk about great culture. So whatever you want in tourism, you find in Oyo State. If you are looking for a wow experience, this is the place to come. If you are looking for a place where modernity and tradition meet, that is Oyo State. So don't go anywhere else. If you are looking for, you call it tourism dupes?
Destination dupes.
Destination dupes. Don't go anywhere. Come to Oyo State. Thank you very much.
Thank you for keeping that short and simple. And this is what I would ask of everyone else. Please keep it short and straight to the point so that we all can enjoy the experience of being part of this chat. So I'm going to ask my next question, and it's going to Mr. Henry Akpede. I'm sure he's laughing because I said keep it short and simple. Henry Akpede comes with a lot of experience in marketing, which he's going to be sharing with part of it, restricted to about 30 seconds. I mean, that's a whole lot of ask to jam all that you've known over 20 years into like 32 seconds to 1 minute. But my question here, JP Clark said, Ibadan, running splash of rust, gold flung and scattered among 7 hills like broken china in the sun. Should we keep this moniker? Is it time to retell this story? What do you think?
Thank you very much. And of course, we need more time to discuss this because creating a message is a very, very difficult task, very technical, but when you get it, you get it. Yes, I agree with my boss here. The red roof moniker is not, it's limiting. It has to be wholesome, like what the former governor of Slvr said yesterday. Tourism is wholesome. So that message has to be wholesome. It has to carry everything that Oyo has to offer. It's not easy because he has mentioned a lot of things, even new ones I've not heard of before. I'm like, there's a lot. But in doing that, you have to step back. Okay, what is that one message I want to put out there that once you have it, everybody will run to you? A lot of people have done it. Allow me to use one very simple example. And forgive me, I'm using outside the country. Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a casino. They have boxing arenas. They have hotels. They even have churches that will get you married even when you are drunk. They have it there. However, their message is very, very simple and thought-provoking. Anything that happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Very thought-provoking. And already it has given you the message that these are the kind of things that happens in Las Vegas. It tells the story. Basically, you might not like it, you might like it, but it tells the story of Las Vegas. Dubai too. Same thing. Dubai has the tallest building, has this, has that, has infinity pool and malls. What are we saying about Dubai? See Dubai and die. It sells everything. It just tells the story of if you go there, there's no point going anywhere else. So we need to craft a message that when you people hear it, they'll ask themselves, why would Oyo be claiming that? Let me go and see what it is. It needs to be deep. It needs to be centered on something that is core, like my boss here has said. So it's not an easy task. She says, I have a few minutes, but I felt that we would have broken it down on what message Ibadan needs to move from red roof moniker to actual message that is thought-provoking. So I think I'll leave it here for now.
Yes, please. And thank you so much for, again, keeping it short and sweet. I like that the two of you agree with each other. This is someone from government, and this is someone from the private sector. How much better can it get that two, like water and oil, that doesn't mix, but here you're mixing and agreeing with one another. we shouldn't stay with the brown roofs moniker. We need to move on, expand the message of tourism in Oyo State. I'm going to move to someone who makes documentaries about Oyo State, and that's Mr. Lao Shun. And I know you make documentaries about Oyo State and you make films. When you produce your documentaries and films, I want you to just take a look at the numbers. Which do people watch more? Do they watch more of when you capture the brown roofs and all of that, or are they more attracted to more modern things that you do with your documentary? Please, could you speak to that very shortly?
Good afternoon, everyone. So firstly, as a filmmaker, your story determines where your locations are.
Yeah.
So it is what you want people to see that they will see. For an example, when we were doing Nimbe, we were supposed to film in Lagos. And I told my crew that I would like to do this in my city. And they were like, I'm like, don't worry, it's my town. I know how to get things done. So we went to Mokola. We started a script breakdown. During the script breakdown, when they told me that they need a low-income area, I'm like, don't worry, we can use Mokola. They said, where is Mokola? When I took them there, they were amazed with the layout. Because Mokola has one of the best layouts in Ibadan. Now, we need other locations. I told them we will use Magoho. They were like, you don't live in Ibadan. I said, don't worry. I will call someone that will know someone who will get everything. And we got all our locations right. We use Agodi Gardens. We use Mokola. We use the Bawa Towers. So for me, your story determines your locations. And your story, again, the people that want to watch your film, it's your story that will drive them. You can't tell what people want to see. Just tell a good story, then people will get along.
Thank you so much. And I like the fact that you talked about your film, Nimbe, and how it was a collection or a conglomeration, if I'm to use that word, of different scenes. You went old, you came to Agodi Gardens, and you mixed everything together, which actually agrees with what Mr. Akpede had said earlier, that we shouldn't just stay with one thing, we need to mix it up. Just as my friend here, Mr. Olariwaju, also said. Now let's talk to Mr. Awoniyi. And in specific terms now, I want to ask you this question about storytelling. They say, if you don't like the stories that people are telling about you, tell your own story. A lot of people, the only thing they think of when they hear Ibadan is, brown roofs. So, how do you think that whether content creators, the government, or others involved in communication can retell the story of Ibadan so that it's not just seen as a city of brown roofs?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And I'll go back. I've been a part of two fantastic destination branding. I was in charge of the destination Cross River, which resonated, from which we created Calabar Carnival and quite a number of ideas that drove a lot of traffic and international patronage for Cross River State. So this is a thought where I'm very familiar. The context is very, very important in communication. J.P. Clark was a young man from Ijo who came to University of Ibadan here several years ago. And the context in which he was speaking at that point in time, history, context, are things that must guide the communication that we're going to do. He wrote about the Ibadan that was at that point in time. So reality is that the Ibadan that we have now, sincerely I said to my friend, if I've not been here today, the fantastic things that I've heard about government doing, there is no how I would have known that they are having such. I drive a lot of agri-tech systems and all that now. So if I were not here, the things that the Akonde guy talked about, I wouldn't know that government is. I'm from Okiogun. I'm from Iseyin, and that's why I'm depicting this attire of my people. This is also deliberately and intentional to tell the story of my own people. Maybe physicals, people here, maybe online audiences are going to take away something that, okay, this is who we are. Just like Ule said, the story about how Ihashoke thing, which is one of our occupation of our people, sold their people. So what are those things that are very passionate about? And I'm going to cite one. South Africa was a nation that was known for apartheid. But when they had a very strong leadership, it came up with a story of Rainbow Nation. And for the first time in human history, you had a World Cup, which is the global football fiesta that came and was hosted by South Africa. You will know that there is a lot of crime in South Africa, but they don't project those negativities about them. They project the very positive things about South Africa. So there must be, it must be a tripartite thing. The government must be willing. The people must also have a buy-in. I thought about South Africa. They created Rainbow Nation. After they have been able to, those discriminations still are still present with them.
True.
But they were able to manage it. The second one that is very close to it, which is also in our African climb here, is the one in Rwanda. We know about Tutsi and the other folks. But you had a strong leadership, and I'm emphasizing leadership because it rises and falls with leadership. Yep. You had a Kagame who came in and it changed the trajectory. I have been to Rwanda. Rwanda is a place you would love to go to now. So I am not going to sit here and say to you, I'm going to give to you what we're going to talk about Ibadan. We have to do research. Those things are born out of research about places before you can come up with those things. But I've given two instances of people who looked back on their history and deliberately wanted to change their narrative, and they created something.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And I'm sure that the clap from the audience shows that they actually appreciate the comments that you made. And my next question to Mr. Akpede is born out of the comments that you made about messaging. It's the message, and Marshall McLuhan, it was that said the medium is the message. Do you agree with that statement? And if you do, what medium should the Oyo State government be using to boost the message of tourism?
Thank you very much. So, you won't believe it, but I get asked this question by almost all my clients, even some of the big ones, Coca-Cola and the rest. So, the idea of a medium, Marshall is actually right. Medium is important. But I ask myself every time, how many outdoor assets are there? How many TV stations are there? I mean, we have like over almost 1,000 TV stations in Nigeria. We have like 36 radio stations in Nigeria. How many outdoor sites? Like roughly 2,000. You can use those. But let me tell you the one medium that you cannot run out of, which is the citizens of Oyo State. There are about 8 million citizens in Oyo State. Imagine having half of that. Imagine having half of that speaking about your message. Because by the time people come into Oyo State at the airport, it's not us that they will see there. It's that guy that is not here. And if that person does not reflect the message in the Oyo State has been trying to push, it falls flat. If that person dupes that person at the airport, that person will never believe all the nice things you've said, all the money you spent on the message. So everybody needs to be carried along, and they will start speaking. That is the strength of word of mouth. Word of mouth is the biggest medium you can ever think about. And guess what? It's almost cheap. I shouldn't be saying that, but it's true. So guys, you can try the radio, you can do the TV, you can do whatever, but you need to educate the people in Oyo State. Explain to them why they are doing what they are doing. I went to Gambia and everybody was a tourist guide. Everybody was telling me, oh, you can do this here, you can do this here, you can do this. Everybody sounded like they knew what the memo was. And that is why I discovered that people are the best medium. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And I like your emphasis on the people. And that will take me back to the person who is representing the government here. What he has just said is, if you want to boost your message, you have to think like a tourist. Because a tourist wants to know where to go when he comes to your city. And now he's saying the citizens should be your medium of communication. Do you think that Oyo State is thinking like a tourist?
Yes, Oyo State is thinking like a tourist. And I would like to conclude the thought that Bayo started, actually. He talked about South Africa, he talked about Rwanda, he didn't talk about Oyo State. Now, a year ago, we didn't have a Minister of Culture and Tourism. He took a great leader, a visionary leader, a leader who knows that the future is not in oil, A leader who knows that the future is not in gold, but the future is in places. That one, you cannot exalt the sides that we have. So when you are talking about strong leadership, give it to our governor. At least he has started this now. Otherwise, we'll not be here. Now, why do people believe the message of the government? Why? When they see sincerity, when they see vision, when they see commitment, then they buy into it. People doubt their leaders when their leaders show insincerity. Our governor has demonstrated sincerity of purpose. He has demonstrated vision. That is why everything that he does with passion. And people believe him. So we are now sending out the message that your state is serious about tourism. And you can take a bet on this. A year from now, the word out there in everybody's mouth is that Oyo is the best tourist destination. I can assure you of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to make it really fast because we have to end this conversation and give way for the last panel of the day. But I'm just going to quickly ask Mr. Laosh one question, and the question has to do with a message to the Oyo State government. If you were to advise the state on what to do as someone who creates films, what would you advise that they do now that can propagate that message of come, see, enjoy Oyo State?
Thank you for that question. Firstly, I like the tagline. Come, that comes means Oyo State already is accommodating. We love people. Then, now, people are already seeing what the governor is doing. So that is C. But another area that we need to focus on is we need to engage a lot of influencers and the young creative around. Let them do shorts. And also, we need to improve on the pictures we upload about all these tourist attractions. It is very, very key. Now, if you want them to enjoy, already the roads infrastructure have been done. Now, what we need to do now is we need to promote, we need to push. Let people see that, okay, the government is doing a lot. Then people will come and they will enjoy. It's so simple. Come, see, and enjoy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I do not think I could have even said it better. And then I'm going to finally end with Mr. Adeosun, and I hope that you keep it very short and sweet. In 1 minute, tell us what would be the key takeaway that you want the government to take from this sitting.
Thank you very much. Like my friend Lanre Sulaiman said, a fantastic thing is being done. I travel to my hometown regularly now. I go through the Moniya Road to Iseyin all the way. A fantastic job so that I can also validate what the government is doing. You see, one of the most passionate assets that I know the government can leverage at the moment. I'm very fanatical about most things that I do. I'm a fan of Arsenal Football Club. And unapologetically so. You know,
oh my goodness.
The 3SC right. Football Club, is that the name they are called
yes,
now? I grew up knowing them. What did Rwanda that I talked to you about did? They identified a leverageable asset in football. They partnered with a very strong, they didn't partner with Chelsea Football Club
or Manchester
United or City. They chose a very serious club with strong leverageable asset, and that's us now. And they put a simple message: visit Rwanda. So why not the government of Oyo State? You are doing a fantastic thing with sports
Oyo
now.
State, please.
3SC, visit Oyo, and that would have been a spot on for me. So.
Thank you so much. And I know that we wish we had so much more time to have this conversation. It's about boosting the message, but I'm very happy about the insights that we all brought to this conversation. And I'm sure that the relevant authorities, I can see the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism sitting down there, taking notes, and these notes will be put into good use. Thank you very much for being part of this panel.